Hey there, everybody. Aryeh Leifert here. Welcome to another episode of the Aryeh Leifert Show. So we are a few weeks removed now from the horrific Hamas attacks on Israel on the 7th of October. And there's been a lot of outpouring of support for Israel coming from around the world. The Empire State Building in New York City was lit up in the blue and white of the Israeli flag. The Eiffel Tower in Paris was lit up with the blue and white of the Israeli flag. The Brandenburg Gate in Germany was lit up, I believe, not just in the blue and white of the Israeli flag. I think it was also lit up with the Israeli flag itself. It's incredible how far we've come from 1945 and the Holocaust, Nazi Germany, to the Brandenburg Gate being lit up in the colors of the Jewish state. And the pièce de résistance has got to be that the Arch of Titus in Rome was lit up. This I'm almost certain it was lit up with the Israeli flag. The Arch of Titus, the symbol of the destruction of the Second Jewish Commonwealth in the year 70 CE, when Titus and his father Vespasian destroyed the Second Jewish Commonwealth. That monument, the Arch of Titus, was lit up with the flag of the Third Jewish Commonwealth, that is the state of Israel. So Titus must be spinning in his grave, and that couldn't bring me more happiness. But what I want to talk about in today's episode is, so there's been this outpouring of support for Israel and the view that it's terrible what Hamas did, just absolutely horrific what they did. And my question is, why? Why was it so bad what Hamas did? Now you may be thinking, what are you talking about, Aryeh? The wanton slaughter of hundreds and hundreds of innocent civilians. How could you not say that that's wrong? So obviously, I believe that it's wrong. I believe that the wanton murder, the purposeful killing, that is murder, of innocent civilians is terrible. But why? Why is it so bad? You say, well, because murder is wrong. Okay, my response is the same. Why? Why is it wrong? Is it because you believe it? And my point today is that if there isn't a commandment from God, from a transcendent being of thou shalt not murder, then murder is not wrong. It's your opinion. You may think murder is wrong, but it's sort of like that's yucky and that's not yucky. That's your opinion. You believe murder is wrong. But if you can't bring God into the equation, I don't believe you can say with absolute certainty murder is wrong. So I was having this conversation with someone on Instagram, and we were talking about atheism, and this person was an atheist, and I said, I'm not trying to argue with you, but please explain to me from an atheist perspective, why is murder wrong? And I think she first responded, well, you know why it's wrong. And I'm like, no, I'm not trying to be difficult. I believe murder is wrong, ultimately, because I believe in a transcendent God who gave the 10 Commandments, and one of those commandments is, thou shalt not murder. But short of that, I don't see how you can give an ironclad argument as to why murder is wrong. So here's some of her responses. She wrote, murder does nothing to help the species progress. Well, actually, number one, it could, because let's say you're murdering weaklings. Let's say you're murdering people who have mental handicaps, physical handicaps. Let's get them out of the way. so that they can't reproduce, especially if it's a genetic issue. I mean, if they get injured in an accident, okay, it's not genetic. But if it's a genetic issue, let's get those bad genes out of the gene pool. So actually, murder can absolutely help the species progress. And that's one of the reasons why the Nazis had their euthanasia program. So they could get rid of even fellow Germans, to say nothing about Jews and Slavs and other ethnic groups that the Nazis hated. But even fellow Germans, they got rid of them if they had mental deficiencies, physical handicaps, because you want to perfect the gene pool. Okay, so she says murder does nothing to help the species progress. So A, actually it can. B, let's say the murderer doesn't care. I really hate so-and-so. I don't care if I'm not progressing the species. I don't want him to live, so I'm going to kill him. So the argument, it does nothing to help the species progress, the murderer could say, so what? I don't care. She also wrote, it disrupts communities and creates chaos. Agreed. To which the murderer would say, I don't care. I want to create chaos. I don't care if I disrupt the community. This guy did something that really got me upset, or he hurt me, whatever it is. I don't care if I disrupt the communities. I don't care if I create chaos. This guy has to die. If it creates chaos, fine. If it doesn't, fine. I want to get rid of him. Then she wrote, murder, and she added, I'm talking about murder for money, revenge, etc., not for self-defense. Well, first of all, you can't commit murder in self-defense. It's very difficult. By definition, I would say murder is the unlawful killing of someone, the unlawful act of homicide. There are lawful acts of homicide, such as self-defense. The Talmud, the ancient code of Jewish law, says if someone comes to kill you, get up early and kill him first. If someone comes to kill you, get up early. Don't wait for him to come get you. If you know he's on his way to get you, you can kill him first. So I don't understand. She writes, I'm talking about murder for money and revenge, not for self-defense. So if it's self-defense, it's not murder. Fine. So we'll take out the not for self-defense phrase. Murder. I'm talking about murder for money, revenge is not anything most humans would do. Really? That's not something, maybe most, but I think there are many humans who, if they could get away with it, absolutely would murder. To get rid of someone who's in their way from a business perspective, or vying with another guy to get the hand of a woman. Not just her hand, but the rest of her body, obviously, but you know what I mean. You want to get rid of any other potential suitors. You want to get rid of the competition. And just imagine this. Let's say the punishment for murder that was committed on Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays, let's say the punishment for that was 1 year in prison. But murders committed on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays would be possibly execution, 25 years to life, whatever punishments are on the books now would be for murders committed on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I think this hypothetical was given by Ernst van den Haag. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure he was the one who came up with it. I'll tell you, it wasn't me. But I think it was Ernst van den Haag, the philosopher, who came up with this. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you get a year in prison. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the regular punishments on the books. Do you think that murders might go up on Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays? Yeah, I think so. There are plenty of people who would say, a year in prison? That's it? For being able to get rid of so-and-so? All right, I'll deal with God when I have to. I'll have some explanation from then. But in the meantime, I get to get rid of fill in the blank. So It's not anything most humans would do. I think there are a lot of humans who would do murder. My point is, I think that there are answers to nearly every atheistic-based argument against murder. I believe that ultimately, if we don't have a transcendent being, that is God, who says, "Thou shalt not murder," then murder isn't wrong. The reason why October 7th was so horrific, the reason why it was wrong what happened, is not because, it doesn't look good to have killed so many people. It makes me feel bad. No. I don't really care what your view is. There are plenty of people in the world, I'm sure, who are absolutely thrilled with what happened on October 7th and would love for there to be more October 7ths. The reason why what happened on October 7th was so horrific is because around 3,300 years ago, on a mountain somewhere in the Sinai desert, God spoke to the children of Israel and said, "Thou shalt not murder." That's why it's wrong. Hopefully this support for Israel will continue. I have my doubts. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching another episode of the Aryeh Leifert Show. Questions, comments, check out the email at the bottom of your screen, AryehShow@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.